For 12 years now, Abu Dhabi has had the honor of bringing the curtain down on the Formula One season. This event usually sees the world's best 20 drivers travel around the globe to the most challenging tracks on Earth before landing in the UAE to crown the championship driver and team. This year, the races were a little different. No doubt due to COVID-19. 3 days before the season opening Australian Grand Prix on March 15th, the race in Melbourne was cancelled as COVID cases spiked across the world and in the paddock. That set the tone for a chaotic 5 months as more and more races were called off or postponed, throwing the whole season into doubt. Thankfully, we will get to witness a spectacular season finale in Abu Dhabi. It will be a moment for fans to treasure. Here's what some F1 fans had to say.
This season has been pretty different than any other season due to several events, including the COVID that really postponed all these races, and they race in a new racetrack, such in Istanbul, that was forgotten for many years, as well as in Imola, in Italy. They did and Mugello was the first time they raced in Mugello in Italy, so Italy this year had a good turnover of racing, let's say thanks to COVID. And now that we are at the last race of the season, pretty much the championship has been dominated by Mercedes, like in the past years. So it's not really exciting to go see the race, but as you know, from the most recent race in Bahrain, we saw some good action due to poor Hamilton that he has COVID, so he couldn't race, and this young gun, Russell, really dominated the race, and then due to bad luck, he didn't win the race, he could have won the race. And as well, a new name came in, an old name, very known name like Fittipaldi. So this is the third generation of the Fittipaldis that they race in Formula One, so that's something really impressive. Even if he didn't finish in the top 10, he finished the race, and that's already an achievement for a rookie like him.
This has been the best thing to happen to Formula One in a long time. I think the one problem Formula One's had for a long time is that they've been boring. Not just because Lewis Hamilton continuously wins, but because nothing unexpected happens. So when the COVID crisis happened and the races all got mixed up and we didn't know if it's happening or not happening, it kind of made you focus on Formula One again. And when it did happen and they started to mix things up and change the formula with the tyres, and now with Bahrain race, with the tyre compounds and the new layout, it's been probably the most interesting season in Formula 1 on a long time. Not just because of the Lewis Hamilton thing, but again, it just changes. We needed some mixing up, and I've never been more excited to watch the races.
The very fact that we've had what will be 17, I think, races by the time we get to, after Abu Dhabi's concluded, out of, I think there was 20 or 21 on the schedule. I think it's nothing short of incredible that they've been able to actually get this amount of races in this year.
The driver championship has been won by Hamilton 3 races ago, and actually, it's an amazing driver that he achieved some new record on winning in pole position, so it's really something else right now. But there is still, all these young guns coming up, and the teams in the second half of the group of the racing, they're very competitive, and there is a lot of action behind. And there will be also during the test after the race, there will be Fernando Alonso, 2-time world champion, coming back. It's a little bit odd that he's racing with the new generation. They come from Formula 2, and so we'll be testing with them. And as well, the testing days will be interesting because it's going to be the newcomer Mick Schumacher, that just won the Formula 2 championship. So it will be driving and start testing with us Racing, the American team, where he signed the contract for next year. So, obviously it's a Ferrari engine car. Hopefully it's going to be better than this year, but best of luck to all the new generation, because, we need to remodel a little bit this Formula One that has been a little bit boring, especially in the front rows.
In terms of who I'm cheering for, yeah, it's going to have to be Lewis Hamilton, obviously. But the Russell thing that just happened now in the Bahrain race is what is the most interesting, because Lewis Hamilton's basically already got this sewn up. Next year he's going to win anyway. So it's what replaces Lewis Hamilton. And what Russell showed us now is that there's someone new to cheer for.
It'll be a shame for Lewis I know he enjoys the Abu Dhabi track. It's one of his favorites. He's had great success here. It'd be a shame not that he wouldn't be able to compete. But for Mercedes, it works out better. It gives them the opportunity to be able to evaluate Russell or whoever in that seat. Because who's to say if Russell, even if he does well in Bahrain and Lewis still can't race in Abu Dhabi, who's to say they don't put in another driver there to evaluate him? And Mercedes has nothing left to prove for the season. They've won. They've wanted, they've done what they wanted to do. So it gives the team more opportunities to be able to evaluate and know what they have going into the future. It's going to be interesting to see how Mick Schumacher drives for Haas. Haas has had a bit of a up and down year. I think they were expecting a lot more out of what they had, and they're going through. They'll be coming into next year with 2 new drivers, with Mick Schumacher being one of them.
Well, I met him a few times during the races, and I know he's really focused and very careful and concentrated when he races. A little bit like his father. His father was known for that concentration and that focus that he has on the races. So I believe he's going to be a good driver. Maybe he's not going to come up at the beginning, also because his car is not the most competitive one. But in his team there are going to be 2 new drivers, so basically it's going to be a new challenge for both of them. And it's a very interesting and choice for the team. I really like what they've done. Instead of getting people that are already racing for 20 years or 10 years, getting new drivers to launch in the Formula One. So best of luck to all of them.